Now to that breaking news we've been following all night. A tense standoff in East Providence here ends just an hour ago.
The man holding police at bay for hours in this neighborhood had a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and the night team's Brian Crandall has been live on the scene all night. Brian?
Patrice and Dan, police have now cleared the scene at the home behind me here just off Bullocks Point Avenue, but for hours the SWAT team was right here with guns at the ready. Fortunately, they did not have to use them. The standoff ends at 9:45 with the 33-year-old man coming out of his home with his hands on his head. East Providence police say they were called to the house in Riverside more than 8 hours earlier for a suicidal man.
With some very good negotiation, we're able to get him out and get him the help that he needs.
The police chief says Neil McKenna had shot himself in the leg before police arrived. His parents, who also lived there, were able to get out of the home. There was never a hostage situation, but the SWAT team was at the ready. Several blocks were blocked off, and several of the closest homes were evacuated as the situation played out all afternoon and evening.
Several times we thought that we actually had made a lot of headway negotiating with him. He came to the window, he was cooperative, he showed us his hands, but he just, at some point, he took a turn for the worse. He never threatened the officers. He went out of his way through our negotiator to explain that he had no issue with the police. He just was in a very bad state. He didn't feel like there was any way out of it, and he felt the only way was to take his life.
But in the end, the chief credits negotiator Michael Field with resolving the tense situation. Were the parents able to help in this process?
The parents gave us an awful lot of background. They were extremely cooperative. They gave us everything that we needed to help him come out and surrender himself peacefully.
And McKenna was taken to Rhode Island Hospital for treatment of that self-inflicted gunshot wound and for mental health evaluation. The police chief says that they've never had a problem with him, though he was reported missing once about 7 years ago, and the chief and neighbors made sure to tell us that McKenna is a good person. Live in East Providence, Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News Night Team.